Welcome everyone here to the Smash Sports Show right here on Smash FM here on a Wednesday here in Melbourne. Of course, now we're going to move from the top end of the country to my favourite part of the country, to beautiful Queensland. And of course, speaking with the reigning champions, well, two-time reigning champions now of the handball side of things. Of course, they've last November they absolutely clean swept the competition and won the grand final against Victoria. And of course, we've got two very special guests joining us right now to tell us a bit about the Queensland success as they will be hoping to go for a three-peat in 2024. Thanks both for joining us.
All good.
Yep, thanks for having us today.
No worries. Well, I'll get both of you to introduce yourselves and what position on the handball court that both of you play.
Okay, so my name's Jemima. I am Queensland's goalkeeper. I have been for a little while.
I'm Abby, and I play pivot and left or right back.
We're going to wind the clock back to early November last year. Obviously, he came down to Melbourne and clean sweep the competition for the second time here in Victoria. Tell us a bit about the national championship before the grand final.
It was good fun. It was hard. No, each team brings something different, and you've got to adjust your play to each team. But no, it was a lot of fun. It was some tough games. Leading up, we were hoping and training to get to the grand final. That was our goal. So we're happy we made it there and took it home.
Yeah, it's probably a little bit of a different experience for me because it's probably, I'll be honest, one of the youngest teams I've played with for a little while. I'm slowly, I'm definitely the oldest in our team now. But yeah, very, very exciting watching some of these girls come through. Yeah, the sort of a range of ages there. But just, I think, the future of handball's in, especially within Australia, in some pretty safe hands.
Grand final, you play the Vics on their home court and completely dominated. How good was it to pick the Vics on their home court for the second time?
Have to admit, pretty good. We're quite close to a lot of the Victorians, so it was nice to put a second one over them. Yeah, no, they played tough, but yeah, it's a good feeling to walk away on their court with it. So yeah, it was nice.
It was good to execute the final is probably the way I would say it. We were very close in some of those preliminary games, so it was very good to be able to completely execute the plan. I think beating everyone is always fun, but probably the most pleasing thing was watching everyone sort of doing their role for the team and just getting across the line. It was awesome because I think we'd left maybe a little bit out on the court on a couple of the games, but yeah, no, they absolutely team smashed it, and I just stand in the goal and try to stop the ball every now and then.
So, Jem, did you have a clean sweep in regard to you didn't let one go in?
Oh, the ball definitely goes in. We're playing a sport where the goalkeeper's doing a good job if they're saving 30 to 35%. So I think I was a bit higher than that, which was good. I was probably a little bit higher than that, as I usually am sort of within Australia. But I definitely let shots in, but I try to save the hard ones.
Now, I know you got medals on the day. How long did you wear your medals after the game? And did any of you sleep with it? Be honest.
We had to wear them all the way up until security through the airport on the way home that night. Had to be taken off through the metal detector. Definitely put back on afterwards, though.
Yeah, mine probably went straight into my pocket. Unfortunately, I'm not a big fan of wearing. Not a big fan of wearing them around the neck. So it was close. I kept it close, but yeah, I was not walking, through the airport with it on. No.
Abby, I need to ask you then, because you wear your medal around the airport. Did you ever get asked by anyone at the airport what you won?
We get a few, because we usually obviously travel as a team. We get a few looks and confused, like, what sport do they play kind of thing. We Yeah, we often get a couple, like usually older people come up to us and are like, excuse me, like what's the medal for? But yeah, no, we did get a couple on the plane. It's usually on the plane who you're sitting next to, and they like to strike up a conversation. And then it's the whole, oh, handball in Australian, they've got no idea what that is. And then you just kind of are like, yeah, well, we just, we're the Aussie champs at the moment. But no worries. That's fine that you don't know it. But yeah, no, you definitely get a few people asking you what the medal is for, 100%.
Sort of almost destroyed my next question there, because I was going to ask my next question to both of you. Did anyone at the airport try to stop the team to get a photo with the team?
I don't think so. I don't remember, Jay.
Definitely no photos. Lots of random questions, but no photos.
Yeah.
We're getting very good at explaining what it is that we do, and that it doesn't involve any lines on a school court or tennis balls. Strangely enough, our sport, does not involve tennis balls. I think the weirdest one I've ever had, I came back from a tournament with, I think it was a bruise on the top of my eye. Unfortunately, I'd been hit in the face pretty directly. Explained that it was from handball, and they couldn't understand how I'd gotten such a bad bruise from getting hit in the face with a tennis ball. Had to explain that it was a completely different sport. That's the beauty of telephones now. You can just bring it straight up on YouTube.
Yeah. It is the easiest way to explain how we play handball. It's just, I'll show you a YouTube video.
Yeah, works every time.
I know you got a trophy as well, which I actually got to hold for the which in your team photo as well. Actually, where was the trophy on the trip back? Who hold it the most on the plane?
I think it went
definitely taken into carry on. Definitely had its own little position on the tray table for people to walk past and glare at. I think the coach ended up with it. I think
yes,
Katsu ended up with it.
We may have nearly lost one of the perpetual trophies in previous years, so we definitely send that back with one of the coaches now.
Oh,
Please
right.
not go home with the trophy.
Yeah. Either you kissed the cup at any stage, considering it's a very small cup, I must say.
I don't think I did kiss the cup.
Yeah, I have reservations about its cleanliness, so I definitely didn't, and I definitely won't be doing any shoeies or anything like that either. So it definitely wasn't
to have
me.
a drink out of it. I was definitely tempted to have a drink out of it, but I think we're on a bit of a time crunch, so that had to come at a later time back in Brizzy. So we got there in the end.
I'm glad you said that, Abby. Because I was going to ask, do you have a drink of the cup? So I'm glad you mentioned that.
We got there.
Now, talking about the medal as well, did either you get a bite on it, and if so, was it pure gold?
Seeing as we got it last year, I think we all knew it wasn't real gold. We had that tester the year before, so I definitely didn't have a munch on mine for sure.
It didn't look like chocolate, so I wasn't biting through it either. No.
Oh, that's fantastic. 8 or 9 months to go before the next one, which I think might be still down here in Victoria again, which really, being 2-time defending champs, I think should be up in Queensland. At least get to do it in front of your home crowd.
Yeah.
But I have to ask, how's the preparations, or have you done any preparations at all to try to defend another title and make it a three-peat hopefully this year?
Look, we sort of we're a bit split between two worlds, specifically Abby and myself. We play obviously handball, indoor handball, but we also play beach handball. So sort of so the start of the year for us is big focus into beach handball. We're still training specifically for indoor with our club teams, but probably I'd say about 3-4 months, then we sort of get back into our club teams, then getting closer to state teams. But yeah, because obviously we're sort of, I'm going to refer to us as dual athletes. At the moment, we're heavily into beach handball. We've actually just come back from one of New Zealand's local tournaments.
Okay, great segue. Tell us a bit about the trip to NZ.
It was great. So it was actually, yeah, it was their New Zealand Nationals. So we were invited as Oz to send a team over, not specifically as the Australian team, but just as an extra team to get more gameplay. And personally, I loved it. I have a lot of mates over there, so it was great to, we came out with a clean sweep as well with that one. No games lost, no sets dropped. So we came over with another trophy of that one. But yeah, no, it was great. It was really good, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, it was especially for us, you know, being able to play more games and having that competition. But also, I think one of the big things for us is because we know we're a pretty small sport within Australia. Obviously, not in the world; it's huge in the world, but because it's pretty small here, we know a lot of our, you know, a lot of the New Zealand players. So it's good to be able to, you know, help with their development. Once again, you know, I am getting older, so it was super fun seeing some 15, 16-year-olds playing and just, you know, looking at that development and even, you know, the decisions they're making right now. You know, if they continue along that same path, you know, in the next 10 years, it'll be really exciting.
It's going to be so good.
Yeah. And I guess pretty recently, especially the Australian women's team, which is, you know, the squad we're a part of as well. You know, it's good for us to be able to help strengthen up, you know, the New Zealand program as well, because, you know, if we're both getting better, that's sort of where we're pushing towards as well.
I'm going to ask the same question I've just asked about the Nationals, which I'm going to ask both of you now, considering you both mentioned that obviously did the clean sweep again over there in NZ. So, number one, did you kiss on the cup? And number two, did you get a bite on your medal?
So one thing I love about New Zealand, there are many, but they do Cadbury chocolate bars instead of medals. And so I munched that down real good. That guy was gone within the hour. So 100% bit into my medal. And the cup wasn't actually a cup, it was a really cool like Maori designed trophy, which was really beautiful. So no, we didn't kiss the trophy, but it's definitely one to keep. Yeah.
Let's talk a bit about both your handball journeys. Where did it all start and why did you choose it?
I feel like my story is longer, Abby. Do you want to start on that one?
I'll start it, yeah. So this will actually be my 10th year, my 10th anniversary since when I started handball. So I started when I was 14, just through a friend through school who was playing it. She came along and she said, we need a couple of players to make this team for this little comp we're doing. I went to 2 training sessions and then played the comp and was hooked. So just started since then and went through all the development phases and joined the clubs that were there and have seen, it's really cool because I've seen like the club that is now in Brisbane, UQ. I've worked my way up to that senior club and it's been really rewarding going to all these comps throughout the years. So yeah, I started indoor in 2014 and just grew into it. And then I started beach handball at the end of 2019 and was like straight away in love. So both have a special place in my heart, but yeah, so 10 years for me, a few international comps, going strong. Yeah.
Yeah, my story is probably a bit unique, a bit strange for most people. I was around it as a little kid. My mum was the state goalkeeper probably when I was 5 or 6, which was a bit unheard of because people didn't even realise that there was handball when I was probably 5 or 6. So I've always been around it. Probably didn't start seriously playing once again until I was 13 or 14. I'd always played soccer and thought that was what I was going to do, and I'd avoided handball because that's something my brothers were playing or my parents were always around. So I guess I started taking it a bit more seriously when I was around 16, 17. Was around the indoor national team from about the age of 21, I think. So I've been to a couple world championships for indoor. I've now been to 2 for beach as well. So yeah, just been going for over 20 years now, I think. Probably a bit more than 20.
Yeah.
And she's still one of the best.
Correct. I agree with that one. What does the sport of handball mean to both of you, and especially representing the mighty Queenslanders? And the second part of that question, what have both of you learned from each other on and off the court?
Oh, that's
you
a
have
fun
much to
one.
say on that one, Jay.
I've learned a lot. Thank you very much. Look, representing Queensland's always been, really important to us. I think it's one of those attitude things, being a Queenslander, being Australian, is that it doesn't matter whether you win or lose. Don't get me wrong, it's better if you win. But it's about, supporting your teammates, being, one team, and just looking after each other, really. What have I learnt from Abby? Oh, so many things. She once forced me to do some form of a TikTok dance, so I definitely learnt one of those. I am a horrible dancer, but I understand TikTok dance. She's always explaining things to me about social media. I'm not a great social media user, so I feel like I've learnt a lot.
Oh. Just to clear that up, I was asked as a younger member of the Australian beach team to teach the more senior girls something from TikTok in our latest World Champs tour. So that was the only reason, and I'm putting that out there. That was the only reason for the TikTok. Yeah, no, 100%. Like, I think, being a Queenslander, it's just, embedded in you to fight on no matter what the result. And we've definitely not always had it, 2 in a row. We've definitely gone through our ups and downs as a team. But yeah, you push through and then you do it for each other, and it's all that really matters at the end of the day for us. And that definitely goes into the Aussie team as well. You just follow through, and it's great when the other girls around Australia have that same point of view. But yeah, it's definitely strong and definitely bred into the Queensland team, I think, from a young age, that's you do it for it, do it for each other. What have I learned from you, Jay? So much, honestly. Being completely serious, you'll never meet someone like Jay. She knows exactly what she needs to know on the court, on the sand. And being a goalkeeper and one of the senior players, she's just someone that I looked up to and still look up to as a mentor. She just knows so much, and I can't even pinpoint, because I've learnt most of what I know from Jemima and other senior players like Rosa and Heather, and everything I know is from those types of girls like Jemima. So probably one mainly is to not take myself too seriously and to move on when I'm not feeling the best about how I've played, because it's just, you go on to the next game or the next training or whatever it is. But yeah, definitely positive outlooks from Jemima are a great lesson.
What will be your advice to people that should get involved in handball, especially up there in Queensland? And the second part of that question, you might as well give your local clubs a bit of a shout out.
Just come and try it. It's so much fun. We have like all the social media you can follow, and there's plenty of come and tries for indoor and for beach, and the comps are you just have a great time. It's just a great sport. It combines so many different techniques from other sports that you've probably already played before, so you probably think you're going to be not that great, but you're actually really good. And it's just so fun. The people are great. Just come and give it a go. That's my advice. Look up your nearest club and just go along. They'll welcome you with open arms.
Yeah, and like you don't have to take it too seriously. We've got, people who want to be at the elite level, but we've got people who just want to come and train and play. Like I think that's the beauty of both. And I'll probably give a little shout out to Beach Handball here, is that it can be super fun. When we first started doing it, within Australia, there's a women's comp, there's a men's comp, but we also play mix. So it's not like, it's not like you're separated from your friends. For indoor, it's just, you get down to your local club. There's a couple of clubs, within Brisbane, like Abby said, every single one of them's on social media. And I think also, no matter where you are, you can contact the local federations, whether that's, Victoria, New South Wales, Queensland, and they'll put you in contact with the right person so that you can just come and try.
Jay and I both play for UQ, University of Queensland. We play at their fitness centre. We train twice a week, and we have like a social comp coming up as well. So come down to UQ if you're in Brizzy on a Monday and a Wednesday. And yeah, that's our club for indoor. Yeah.
Finish off a couple light-hearted questions about your Queensland team from last year, which is who had the most embarrassing moments on the court, and what was it?
Ooh, embarrassing. I know I just broke my finger and then I've continued to play for a couple of rounds, but that wasn't really embarrassing.
I mean, I fell over on my bottom several times, but that's pretty normal as well.
That's probably normal for a goalie. I don't know if there is any embarrassing ones. I mean, if we do, the Queensland team, we embrace that. We embrace that sort of stuff. So you might find it embarrassing. We just applaud it. So honestly, none.
I honestly, same. I can't remember anything specifically. Like, I think Abby and I had, she had a nearly broken finger. My finger that's already broken was, double the size it should be, but don't find that embarrassing. That's just pretty normal.
Oh, one thing I do find when I go for a fast break, I'm not a fast break runner if anyone knows me. I think I went for one and I just tripped over my own feet, but that often happens. I'll go for a fast break, but the execution is just not there. So probably that. But no one else seems to mind if I go for it. So I'll keep doing it until I nail it, I think.
Yep, definitely.
Who's the comedian, the best singer, and into their TikTok/Be Real?
Comedian. I'm probably the most sarcastic.
Your gal is Jay. If you're into the dry, straight up humor, Jemima is your girl. You can't get anyone that is more sarcastic than Jemima.
Yeah, I would probably say that's definitely me. Best singer. There are a couple of singers. We've got a few. I think Sigrid was pretty good.
Sigrid and the twins. It's definitely not me. Mm-hmm. It's definitely not me. No, we've got quite musical girls. The younger ones are. Yeah. Elizabeth and Finn Gillespie, great singers. Sigrid, great singer. The rest of us, I probably wouldn't go there. Yeah. But no, they're also very talented with the dancing. So they do the TikToks as well. Like, yeah, I know bare minimum of TikTok dancing wise. But they're all over. They were trying to teach us like the new dance, and I was like, I've seen it and it looks great, but I cannot. My feet don't move like that. So it's definitely those girls. They're what, 20? So they're fully into it, those younger girls, but it's great. I find it hilarious.
Do either of you have a pre-game superstition or ritual?
Oh, yes and no.
Go ahead.
It's not a superstition. Apart from being our most sarcastic team member, I'm also probably our most ritualistic. Everything has a place. Everything has a routine. I probably have a nap most of the time before we have a game, but it's always the headbands. When I play indoor, I always play with a headband, and you can. Oh, I got background sound. Sorry. And yeah, if it's not the right headband, you got to pick a different color.
Oh.
There's no specific color, but if the color doesn't feel right, you just pick the next one. So I've got black, navy, red, or all of these different ones, but it's just the one thing. If it doesn't feel right, it's not right, and you've got to wear a different one.
I don't know if I have superstitions. I'm an early. I will much prefer to be early than late, so I need to be there ahead of time. We have this thing on our Queensland team, the late hat. So it is a high vis bucket hat, and if you're the last person to walk into the court, you have to wear that for warm up. And I am priding myself on never wearing the hat. Not so much a superstition, but being early for me is a big one. Superstition wise, I don't know. I think I'm quite a nervous player. So when I'm warming up, I'm full with nerves, but as soon as I start playing, I cool out. So I think it's just getting into it for me. But no headbands for me. Just getting
Not yet.
And not wearing
Not yet.
Finish with a two-part question. The first part is any good nicknames in the team, and then the second part of that question. Okay, I'm going to go with that first, and then I'll ask my second part of that question.
Abby loves a nickname, so I'm going to let her talk about this one. My nickname's boring, and it's just because that's what I've been known for forever, because supposedly saying Jemima, which is 3 syllables, is too hard.
Too long. It's too long. Just turns to J. No, so I love a nickname. I'm all about the nicknames. It's often a conversation I bring up in warm-up with all of the girls. Personally, I have multiple. They originated in beach handball and have just transferred into indoor from the girls who play both. We were in Germany for our pre-Worlds camp in 2022. And all of us just decided, we could speak German. So we were saying the bare minimum German words we knew with everything. And one of our best mates and one of the leaders of our team, Rosa, decided, Abby needs a nickname. It's her second year. She needs a nickname for the team. So she came up with Abtron 5000. Just out of thin air, and because we were in Germany, 5 is 5, so it transformed into Abtron 5000, even though that is definitely not how you say 5,000 in German.
No.
And since then it has been shortened to Tronny or Tron or Funt or Funty. If I get any of those 4, I will respond. So Funt, Funty, Tron or Tronny is me, if anyone is wondering in any of the live streams. If you hear that being yelled, that's your gal. But I love nicknames, so I'm always trying to give other people nicknames as well, because I'm so happy I have 4 to choose from. But yes, so I think mine's probably the most out there nickname. I know Claudia has that club. I have to say there are more nicknames on the beach court than the indoor court, but we definitely bring them back to indoor with us.
It's one of those wonderful rites of passage that if you do something too many times on tour, you will be known as that. One of our goalkeeper friends is named Tofu. For the amount of tofu they had while we were away at a tournament. So Tofu Thomas, good work.
Thomas, shout out to you.
Yep.
Yeah, they're good.
We do love them. Yeah,
we have fun.
Yeah. Last question. Now, obviously, I came to your final last year, and obviously got a photo with the team. The only question I'm going to ask both of you: were you surprised that I even asked for a photo with the team, and how special to have a Melburnian who's a Queenslander supporting the Queensland team against the Vics?
Honestly, that was really cool. I loved it. It makes you feel like you're really, just because we're so used to this sport being really niche and not a lot of people coming to watch who don't play themselves, it was heartwarming that someone wanted to, have a picture with us. And appreciate the sport for what it is, especially being a Queenslander in Melbourne. But no, I really liked it.
Yeah, it's always interesting. I've had I don't find I have many people ask us for photos when we're in Australia, but I know when I went in 2019 to the World Championships for indoor in Japan, I had a couple of people who actually wanted photos with my my mum and I. My mum had actually come to watch a couple of games, and once they found out that mum was in the stands and I was playing, a couple of kids and their parents took photos with us. But yeah, it's always cool in Australia because I think it's one of those things, like when people have that respect of what we do. I know we're a small sport, but just people having respect that we work full time, but we're training for indoor, we're training for beach, we're making sacrifices to go to tournaments. Like, it's really special then, having that, even if it's a tiny bit of recognition. It's really cool, and it's super cool being able to do, obviously, being able to catch up with you as well. Like, it's just pretty surreal for us because we don't get to do that every day.
Yeah, and we love to talk about it, so we are more than happy.
Thank you so much for getting up some of your time to join us, and we're missing the fantastic back-to-back national titles that you've had here in Melbourne. Can't wait for the 10 to return back to Melbourne and make it a three-peat and ruin the Victorians again on their home court to win the title. And obviously, best of luck with beach handball, I should say, season at the moment. Obviously, transitioning into your club handball later on in the winter season.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks.
No worries. And of course, that's Arian Gem there joining us from the Queensland handball national title champion team. Of course, we can't wait to see them back down here in Melbourne again and hopefully defend a title again in 2024. And of course, you want to get involved in handball in Queensland. Of course, we'll put all the details up on how you can get involved in, especially hope they're up there in Queensland, especially at UQ as well. There's more on the Smash Sport show right after this. Don't go away here on the 10th year celebration.